20 drones, 600 kilometers of Russian airspace, and a railway logistics hub deep in the rear where military supply trains assembled before rolling south toward Crimea. On paper, no single layer of Russia's air defense network should have let this formation anywhere near the target. Every layer worked exactly as designed. The formation still got through. The drones launched from dispersed sites hours before dawn, splitting immediately into small, widely spaced groups, rather than one obvious formation, flying low enough and slow enough that for hours, they were nearly invisible against ground clutter. A Russian early warning aircraft picked up the first hint of something wrong before sunrise, faint signals flickering in and out along the same general heading. Too slow and too low to be conventional aircraft, too numerous and too coordinated to dismiss as birds or interference. Command scrambled an interceptor to investigate. The fighter's radar found the formation almost immediately once it arrived on station. Small returns bouncing unpredictably off the terrain below, disappearing and reappearing as the drones skimmed just above rooftop height. Then 4 of them did something they weren't supposed to do. They broke formation and climbed, hundreds of meters higher, engines at full power, radar signatures suddenly bright and unmistakable. The interceptor locked on and fired without hesitation. 2 drones went down in quick succession. The other 2 kept climbing and turned hard away from the main formation entirely, deliberately dragging the fighter off in the wrong direction. It cost 4 drones total to buy the rest several minutes of a completely empty sky, and several minutes at low altitude and decent speed is enough distance to disappear. By the time the interceptor completed its turn and swept back over the search area, the remaining 16 drones had dropped even lower, spread across a wide front, and blended back into the ground clutter that had hidden them in the first place. The fighter needed most of those minutes just to reposition. The formation used every second of it to close distance nobody was watching. The next obstacle wasn't visible at all. A ground-based jamming system began flooding GPS and satellite navigation channels with far more signal strength than any distant satellite could compete with, and positioning data on the lead drones began drifting hundreds of meters within seconds, an error that compounds badly at speed over distance. 2 drones on the formation's edge broke radio silence just long enough to transmit their measured interference readings back to the rest, sacrificing themselves as the jammer instantly honed in and knocked both off course entirely. But that brief transmission gave the surviving 14 enough data to correct their heading and switch entirely to inertial navigation. No signals in or out, nothing left for the jammer to lock onto. They dropped lower still and continued in complete silence. A single, deliberately brief transmission later, just enough to resynchronize position and timing, was picked up by a passive listening network positioned to detect exactly this kind of momentary signal. 3 separate stations measured the arrival times down to fractions of a microsecond and triangulated a target area barely a few hundred meters wide, without the drones ever knowing they'd been heard. Air defense units downrange now knew roughly where the formation was heading before it ever appeared on their own radar. The drones had planned for this too. 4 more broke off simultaneously, scattering in different directions while continuing to transmit short bursts every few seconds, deliberately making themselves look like the entire formation splitting apart to approach from multiple angles. The listening network lit up with 4 bright, obvious signals spreading across a wide area, and air defense crews began dividing their attention exactly as intended. Meanwhile, the remaining 10 drones went completely dark, increased their spacing, and continued on inertial navigation alone, invisible to anything relying on signal detection. A dedicated surface-to-air battery, cued by the decoy's transmissions, engaged those 4 bright targets first. Missiles closed the distance in seconds. 2 decoys were destroyed almost immediately. The last 2 kept transmitting anyway, continuing to pull attention and firepower away from the real formation even as they were being hunted. An electronic sacrifice that worked exactly as intended. Below all of that noise, the real 10 drones weren't perfectly invisible either. Radar caught fragments of them crossing open ground, holding a lock just long enough over one exposed stretch of field to fire. 2 more drones went down in that exchange, the survivors immediately scattering further, dropping lower, changing heading unpredictably every few seconds to avoid presenting a stable track again. 8 remained, and every air defense unit protecting the target had now been alerted to their approach. A ring of short-range air defense vehicles surrounded the logistics hub itself as the last physical barrier, cannons and missiles both. Radar caught the 8 drones late, and interceptor missiles took down 2 on the outer edge almost immediately. The remaining 6 kept coming, dropping to just above the field, weaving unpredictably as the ring's automatic cannons opened up in a dense wall of tracer fire. 1 drone went down in the barrage. Then one of the survivors made a choice. Instead of evading, it flew directly at the firing vehicle itself, closing distance under fire until it detonated close enough to knock the position's guns silent for several critical seconds. That gap was all the remaining 4 needed to slip past the ring from separate directions, using the defensive position's own blind angles and nearby structures as cover. The final defensive layer, a wide-area jamming system protecting the target itself, hit the survivors with something more aggressive than simple interference. A flood of conflicting false signals designed to make every onboard sensor disagree with every other one simultaneously. GPS position jumped impossibly. Altitude readings contradicted the drone's actual altitude. The onboard camera's frame rate collapsed under the interference, turning the ground below into intermittent, barely readable static. One drone, unable to reconcile the chaos of contradictory data, banked toward false coordinates that didn't exist, clipped the ground at speed, and went down still kilometers short of the target, destroyed by bad data rather than any weapon. The remaining 4 dropped every external sensor entirely, relying on nothing but gyroscopes, accelerometers, and a preloaded target map, flying essentially blind for the better part of a minute with no way to confirm each other's status or avoid collision. As they cleared the edge of the jamming zone, cameras flickered back to usable frame rates one by one, just enough to recognize a rail junction, a line of warehouses, a cluster of storage structures, confirming they were still on course, despite drifting hundreds of meters off their original heading. 4 drones reached the logistics hub from 4 separate directions, with no coordination between them and no way to know which of the others had survived. Each one now had to find and confirm its own target independently. The first struck the marshalling yard directly, scattering freight cars and disrupting the rail junction at the heart of the facility, the resulting fireball visible for kilometers. The second, navigating by that same fire as a reference point since satellite positioning still hadn't stabilized, adjusted course toward it and struck the electrical facility feeding the signaling system, dropping the lights and signals across multiple rail lines in one hit. The third came in from the opposite side, found a long warehouse row using nothing but recognizable shapes in its camera feed, and dove into the roof, igniting a fire that spread to the freight cars stored alongside it. The fourth arrived last, circling once through the smoke and alarms already filling the area, found the one technical facility still showing signs of active operation, and committed to a final dive as its transmission cut out on impact. By the time emergency crews reached the site, smoke had settled over several rail lines, and the facility's through traffic had to be halted entirely while the damage was assessed. 20 drones had entered denied airspace. 4 reached the target. Every single defensive layer, air intercept, jamming, passive signals detection, missile batteries, close-in defense, and a final electronic barrage had functioned exactly as it was built to. None of it, stacked together, was enough to stop 4 aircraft that had already planned for every layer to work. What do you think mattered most in this operation? The decoy drones sacrificed at each layer to buy the formation time, the drone's ability to keep flying blind through interference using nothing but a stored map, or the choice to strike the rail junction first so the fire itself became a navigation beacon for the rest. Let me know what you think in the comments, and subscribe to Military Dispatch for the next tactical breakdown.